The night Nora Diaz learned Earth had gone interstellar, she was 3 hours into a double shift, her headset was pinching a small but important nerve, and the studio was midway through its 6th demonstration of the Miracle Abs Cruncher 3000. The host, a man with a smile you could spread on toast, thrust his pelvis at the camera with the conviction of a motivational poster. "You can feel the burn," he announced, as if the burn were a forgotten friend. On Nora's screen, the queue ticked, 28 calls waiting. A light blinked, then all the lights blinked, then the lights turned a color the lights had not previously agreed to turn. Glenn, her floor manager, burst from his glass office carrying a clipboard, and the look of a man who had just seen a spreadsheet achieve nirvana. "Team," he called, clapping his hands. "Wonderful news. Our international footprint has expanded." "Which countries?" Nora asked, already regretting the question. Glenn beamed. "All of them. A beat. Plus," he added, as if confiding a delightful secret, "space." The phones screamed. "Home Value Panorama Network, this is Nora, how may I?" "Hello, this is High Councillor HRRNN from the Atmospheric Coalition of PHRRR. The voice was wet and proud. "Your Miracle ABS Cruncher 3000 floats away. Request Earth advice." Nora put the call on extra empathy, a button that softened her voice by 12%. "I'm so sorry to hear that, Councillor. Have you tried placing it on the floor?" "We have no floor," the Councillor boomed, scandalized. "We are Aaronians. We are a cloud." Nora massaged her eyebrow. "Right. In that case, could you secure the device with straps?" "We attempted strapping cloud to cloud. We became not. Also, the cruncher is escaping. Escaping." A chorus of tiny voices came through the line, "We. Freedom. We were not built for this." Nora typed note, "Product not compatible with clouds," and offered a 10% discount on the HEP Sky Anchor Pro, a product she had invented in that moment. The councillor accepted, grateful, and drifted off the line. Glenn materialized. "How was our first international?" "Interstellar," Nora corrected. "They tried to crunch abs without gravity. Great use case discovery." Glenn chirped. "Log it as a marketing opportunity." The queue blinked. 52 waiting. "Home Value Panorama Network," Nora speaking. "I ordered the Diamond Edge Steak Knife Mega Set," hissed a crystalline voice, "and it cut through my table, the deck, the hull, and 60% of our moon." Nora sat up. "That seems sharp. We demand a refund and also, a replacement moon." "We don't stock moons," Nora said. "We do have a moonlight glow patio torch that creates the ambience of a moon." A pause. The crystalline voice glittered with offense. "Ambience is not geology." Nora put the caller on hold, muted her mic, and Googled what to say when a customer slices their moon. The search returned a clip of their own commercial, "Cuts through everything." With 5 stars and a comment, "Yup." She returned to the line. "We can refund you today, and include a complimentary knife safety brochure." "Will the brochure cut a moon?" The caller snapped. "It contains firm guidance," Nora said, which technically wasn't a lie. "Home Value Panorama. Is this where you buy the Joy Cycle 5000? The voice sounded like wind moving through reeds. "We assembled it, but we lack. What do you call them?" "Legs." "It's a stationary bike," Nora said. "You pedal it with, yes, those." "We do not have those. We have gusts." then the joy cycle may not be ideal. A disappointed sigh swayed the line. We bought the premium warranty. Nora glanced at the system. They had indeed purchased the Forever plan, which guaranteed either a functional machine or eternal optimism. Nora offered to swap the bike for the FlexiBand Sky Resistance Trainer, great for gusts, plus a free Snuggie. The caller asked what a Snuggie was. Nora said, ceremonial robe, and the caller ordered 12. By 2 a.m., the call queue no longer used numbers. It used exclamation points. The team gathered for a pep talk while the host transitioned to the Juice Master X Prime, a device that promised to extract juice from anything, including, the host claimed, the very idea of an orange. Glenn clapped. Okay, champions. Our addressable market has expanded to include the cosmos. Great job converting objections into opportunities. Legless people bought a Snuggie, Nora said, deadpan. We might have accidentally invented religion. That's thought leadership, Glenn breathed. Metrics love it. A red light blinked on his clipboard. Glenn frowned. One tiny note, our shipping costs are trending up. Nora asked. Beyond? He grinned again. But we'll make it up in volume. You're going to sell your way out of a black hole, Nora said. That's the spirit. The company introduced new training modules to help reps communicate with alien callers. Module 1, Telepathy for people who think in lists. Module 2, Fluent in smell, from notes of citrus to nuance of disappointment. Module 3, Conversation by light flash. Nora's favorite, she turned her desk lamp on and off until she understood refund, please, and is this coupon stackable across galaxies? A call came in as a sequence of soft glows. Nora flashed back, hello, which in that dialect also meant your lamp is very brave. The caller flashed an image of a juicer attempting to squeeze a translucent rock. Is that fruit? She signaled. Yes. The lights pulsed with dignity. A classic, silicon nectar orb. Juice Master X Prime is not recommended for silicate produce, Nora flashed, feeling each word in her wrist. Try the granite grin mortar and pestle, Stone Age edition, plus a free chisel. A grateful flare. Sale closed. Glenn drifted by. How's it going? I'm fluent in lamp, Nora said. Put that on your resume, Glenn said, absolutely sincere. Every so often, a call would brighten Nora's night. This one glided in like a ship under starlight. Greetings, terrestrial vendor, the voice sang. I am Princess Una of the Saffron Nebula. Your garment, the Snuggie, is transcendent. I have declared it court attire. That's wonderful, Your Highness, Nora said, actually smiling. How many would you like? 3 million. Nora's smile became a line. Our warehouse doesn't contain that number. Then please send sewing machines, cloth, and instructions for ceremonial lounging. Nora, who hadn't read a manual since high school, typed lounging, ceremonial into the system and attached a PDF of the Snuggie owner's pamphlet, which was mostly pictures of people lying near electricity. She added a coupon code, Royal Bogo. Glenn stared at the order total. His pupils dilated into dollar signs. We're an export power, he whispered. The returns department called Nora's pod as a cry for help. Parcels the size of asteroids were arriving, freighted with regret. Reasons for return, selected, Juice Master converted our fruit into laser. Diamond edge knives cut future and past simultaneously. Joy cycle attracted storm, storm now on wellness journey. Snuggie sparked civil war between fleece and satin factions. Glenn appeared with a fresh policy, no gravity, no returns. He'd printed it on a poster of a kitten. Nora said, "We can't tell clients the warranty excludes physics." Glenn beamed. "We're not excluding physics. We're clarifying compatibility." Nora rotated her chair. It squeaked in a manner that expressed despair. Three beings in formal robes and sensible shoes arrived while the host promised the Megamop 360 would drink spills like a camel. They introduced themselves as Inspector Vrel and associates of the Galactic Consumer Protection Authority. Their briefcases opened like offended oysters and filled the air with documents that smelled faintly of ozone and ink. Inspector Vrel's eyes were patient stones. "You are accused of broadcasting commercial claims across interstellar channels, accepting payment in exotic currencies, and shipping products with no disclosure of planet-specific limitations." Glenn extended his hand. "Welcome. We love feedback." "Feedback is a polite word for justice," Vrel said, not shaking. He turned to Nora. "You, representative. Do your products work as advertised in zero gravity?" Nora considered the joy cycle, which had converted a wind species into a wellness cult. "Define work?" Vrel sighed. "That is the problem. You have defined nothing. You have sold everything." He produced a tablet. It displayed a queue longer than Nora's soul. "The authority has received 8,291 complaints, several moons sliced, and one minor rebellion sparked by fleece." Glenn leaned forward. "But also, Princess Una loved the Snuggie." Vrel pinched the bridge of his nose. "That is not exculpatory." They gathered in Studio B, which usually hosted the knife hour and a dog that could theoretically count to 5. Today, it hosted the law. Vrel read the charges while the host stood behind a table of glittering knives, smiling like he was hearing a lullaby. "You have sold devices that cannot function without gravity to civilizations without gravity," Vrel said. "You have shipped knives capable of catastrophic geological harm without warning labels. You have accepted payment in probability futures, which is not legal tender." Glenn raised a finger. "We converted those to gift cards." "Gift cards," Vrel repeated, as if naming a disease. Nora, throat dry, said, "We'll do disclaimers. Big ones. We'll put a badge on screen, Earth use only. One planet only." Vrel arched an eyebrow. "Narrow market." "It's a start," Nora said. Vrel paced. "Do you understand our purpose, Ms. Diaz? We prevent predation. We ensure consent is informed. Before this week, we assumed your species was immature, naive, a danger to itself." Nora braced for the gavel. "However," Vrel continued, "we reviewed your programming." He gestured to the wall screen. It showed a montage of HEP clips, juice spattering hosts, knives cutting shoes for reasons no one remembered, a woman in a Snuggie looking both smug and cold. Vrel cleared his throat. "It seems you defraud yourselves with the same vigor." Nora blinked. "Equal opportunity uselessness." "Indeed." He turned a page. "The authority frowns upon deception." He turned another. "But it frowns more upon exclusion." Glenn perked up. "We're inclusive." "Precisely," Vrel said. "You are so incompetent that it is fair." He closed the briefcase. Therefore, we will not sanction you. Glenn pumped a fist. Nora exhaled. The host almost sliced his own hand out of joy. With conditions, Drell added. Glenn's fist deflated. You must disclose that your products are designed for Earth-specific environments, gravity, air, floors, etc. Disclosures must be placed on screen, not whispered behind a houseplant. You must accept returns, including moons, where feasible, and provide refunds in equivalent value, not inspirational posters. You must continue broadcasting. The authority has determined your infomercials possess cultural merit. Cultural merit. Nora repeated, amazed. Drell's mouth twitched, a micro smile. The galaxy finds them instructive. You demonstrate hubris with such sincerity that it has become educational. He paused. And entertaining. Glenn leaned forward. Are you saying we're a hit? Drell fastened his briefcase. There is a difference between fame and absolution. Try not to confuse them. HEP rebranded in a single night. New slogans bloomed like dandelions, HEP, Earth-tested, space-curious. Works on Earth. Conditions apply everywhere else. As seen on TV and accidentally across the stars. Nora wrote the first proper cross-galactic disclaimer, warning, products may not function in zero gravity, zero legs, all-gas environments, aquatic kingdoms, pure plasma, sentient shadows, or places where you are a cloud. Knives cut things. Please do not cut the moon. They began hosting a galactic hour, where the host demonstrated use cases for different biochemistries. The Juice Master X Prime pulverized a silicon nectar orb with the help of the granite grin mortar. The Joy Cycle transformed into a Joy Turbine for gust-based species. The Snuggie launched in Royal Saffron, complete with a lounging ceremony narrated in lamp code. Nora took calls from 3 time zones and 4 dimensions. She learned how to issue refunds in probability futures, now legal, and how to coax a panicking cloud not out of a Cruncher 3000 using tone of voice and a coupon. She hung a sign above her monitor, try not to slice moons. Glenn hung one above the floor, we're big in space. At 3:11 a.m., just when Nora thought her brain had calcified, a soft call arrived. Not urgent. Curious. Hello, Earth thing, said a voice like distant rain. We are the people of the in-between. Your channel helps us pass the long dark. Nora relaxed into her chair. I'm glad. We do not require products, the voice said gently. We require stories. How is it that you promise so much with such tiny objects? Nora looked at the miracle mop on her desk, at the knife set, at the Abs Cruncher brochure that said results not typical in font so small it could slip between atoms. We're afraid, she said, surprising herself. Of mess. Of grief. Of time. So we try to buy smaller versions of courage. The line shimmered. Ah, said the in-between. We thought so? Thank you. The call ended. No sale? Nora logged it as resolved anyway. Numbers poured in. The Galactic Hour outperformed everything the network had ever aired. Not because the galaxy needed mops. Because the galaxy adored watching humans explain mops like they were talismans against doom. Fan art appeared on interstellar feeds, a cloud doing crunches with a Snuggie tied like a cape. A crystalline being wearing oven mitts to protect their moon. A wind colony riding a joy turbine into a sunset of charged particles. Glenn walked through the call center with 2 lattes and a stunned expression. "We trended on the Triangulum net," he whispered. "In the ethical commerce category." Nora sipped her latte. It tasted like an apology that had learned self-respect. The host faced the camera with a sincerity that could sand wood. "Friends across Earth, and wherever else our signal reaches, tonight's special is the Home Hero Toolkit. Inside you'll find a mop, for spills, a light, for dark, and a booklet called How to Fix Small Things When Big Things Are Scary." Nora answered calls as orders rolled in, some for the kit, some just to say hello. She offered coupons. She offered patience. She offered the truth when the truth was the only dignified thing to offer. Inspector Vrell sent a brief note, "Compliance satisfactory. Broadcast approved. Please include more dogs." Princess Una sent a portrait wearing royal saffron snuggie, lounging with terrifying majesty. Caption, "All hail comfort." The Aaronians reported that while the Abs Cruncher remained impossible, the Skyanchor Pro, now a real product, made for excellent cloud gatherings. And the crystalline moon, well, they grew a new one. Their children named it Return Window and laughed in the lilting way of prisms. At dawn, Nora stepped outside and found an envelope on her car. It bore the seal of the Galactic Consumer Protection Authority. Inside was a single line, "You are now a cultural export. Please take breaks." She laughed, startling a pigeon into second thoughts. Back at her desk, the queue showed only a handful of calls. Nora answered one. "Home Value Panorama, this is Nora." "Hi," said a human voice. Slightly embarrassed. "Ah, my knife is really sharp. Any tips?" Nora smiled into the mic. "Yes. Don't cut your moon." A beat. "I don't have a moon." "Perfect," she said. "Let's keep it that way." She offered him a coupon, because she always would. She offered a little mercy, because she could. Somewhere beyond her, the galaxy watched humans try to explain themselves, and, against probability, found it charming. And that wraps up Alien Home Shopping Network. Thanks for joining me on this satirical trip through cosmic customer service. If you enjoyed the story, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. New narrated sci-fi shorts are posted every week. Until then, remember, never try to use an ab cruncher in zero gravity, and whatever you do, don't cut the moon.